we have a new guest that just joined us. Welcome, Nicholas Skyles from Italian Kitchen Design and Distribution.
Thank you for having me.
Great. So tell us a little bit about, let's call it IKDD and make sure we don't call it IDKK, okay?
Okay. Italian Kitchen Design, we're there for architects, developers, and designers. We're open to the public, but we're a private company that we only allow you if you have a designer.
Right.
So we wholesale our cabinetry. We're very high end, but we bring our pricing down to where we're pretty close to box stores. But it just depends on what finishes. Obviously, there's many variations of what you could do.
Right. Well, let me ask, if you're that high end, how can you afford to bring your prices down to the price of a box store?
Well, high end, all our products are from Italy.
Right.
There's an automation process of how our company works. We're a large company within a company. Mitone, Binova, and Kiko Home Elements is our product lines. There's an automation process. So
right.
Depending on the finishes and the caliber of what you pick, our pricing generally, our cabinetry starts around $10,000.
Right.
Depending, and that's for like a 10 by 12 to 10 by 15
right.
Kitchen. Depending on finishes, our pricing is generally around the 10 to 30,000 mark.
Okay.
Which seems somewhat high. It just depends if you pick lacquered, glass, because I mean, there's so many finishes to pick from.
But you've told me if you do a lot of commercial work, then the volume brings the pricing way down, or am I wrong?
Oh no, it exponentially down. Once we get the automation process goes, our cabinetry could be between 1,800 to 2,200 a kitchen. It just depends.
Now, what kind of scale are we talking here? What would get the price down? Are you talking about like in a development project for how many condos?
I think she's talking about how does Andrea get the price down. So.
Yeah.
Exactly. So if you have a development, let's say, and you were to have your building apartment community of 200 units plus, that gets our automation going, and that brings the cost exponentially down. And that usually includes the countertops as well. So
really?
And the sinks. So you're looking.
Hello.
Exactly.
Because the countertops are a huge factor in the cost of a kitchen.
Correct. When it comes to granite and quartz,
right.
There's tons of options. We can just bring the cost down because when you get the automation going and you get the factory moving and you're buying at an exponential level, it brings the pricing down. And with the American dollar being so strong right now and the euro being at $1.10, my pricing generally beats China pricing, and
wow.
You get a higher end product.
That's crazy.
Yeah, you don't hear about a whole lot of companies these days able to be competitive with China. That's exciting.
Exactly.
Yeah. So Italian design, that harkens so many different images for people. Those who've been listening to the show for a while know how much I love anything related to design and home. Now, is that on the sleek contemporary style of Italian? Is it old world like Tuscan style? Talk to us a little bit about style these days and trends.
We're contemporary.
Okay.
We do have our 900 line, which would be the old school. It's rustic Italian, but most of our look is contemporary. It's high-end lacquers, textures.
And that's what's hot today.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So it just depends. We're also a Miele direct dealer. We sell Cambria, Corsentino products. It just depends on what you're looking for. We're a one-stop shop. So our cabinetry includes design services. So you're not just coming in going, oh, I'm picking this. We help tailor and suit everything for your needs.
Okay.
And generally that includes the design process.
Wow.
Well, we talked about this before the show. One of the things that's nice is you're by appointment only, so people can't just walk in off the street. But, when somebody...
They filter out riffraff like us, Barry.
Hey, speak for yourself. So, when somebody walks in and says, I really like this, what you mentioned before was you'll hand them off to a designer to help them find the best thing, do the best thing, not necessarily take everything in yourself. Is that correct?
Exactly. So what happens is we're trying to streamline the process. We want people to get the correct products, and we also want to tailor, suit everything to the client's needs. So if a client walked in and they didn't have a designer, what we do first is, because we wholesale to designers in the industry, we try to get them set up with the client. So that way we're not taking, if ultimately they don't want a designer, then...
Correct me where I'm wrong. It almost sounds like the travel industry. You can work with a travel agent, or you can go do it direct yourself. It's not going to be any difference in price. I'm sure a designer is going to have a little bit of price differential in there. But, am I correct in my assumption?
There is going to be a little bit of a price difference, but usually not with our cabinetry purchasing. It's better for you to be picking with a designer.
Sure.
Because we're giving them a discount, and obviously designers are there to make money, but what they're bringing in is they're bringing in the design process and giving the client streamlined thoughts instead of you randomly picking and not knowing cost and the measuring. There's a whole lot of details that go into the quality of making a kitchen, and we try to bring everything down to a one-stop shop for the client, but through the designer, because it makes it exponentially cost-effective using a designer.
So you're also kind of a project manager in a sense as well.
Correct.
Okay.
Great.
Yeah. Now, who handles the installation for your kitchens?
That we sub out. Obviously, we use contractors. We network with different architects and contractors that help us install. Usually the client is either hiring or the designer is usually hiring.
Okay, great. You're listening to Close Up on San Diego Business here on KCBQ, streaming live at AM1170theanswer.com. Give us a tweet at CloseUpSD. Email me at barry@closeupsandiego.com, or find our page on Facebook. We want to hear from you. I'm your host, Barry Waxler, here with my co-host, Andrea Kay. We have Urban Miaris, and we have Mr. Nicholas Skyles from Italian Kitchen Design and Distribution. So, one of the other things you mentioned before the show is something that touches our heart over here. You give special treatment to veterans.
Yes, we do. We do discounts, military discounts, for 25% off our cabinetry.
Wow, that's a healthy discount.
Exactly.
Yes.
So that's a huge discount, and because obviously with Italian products, it's not just you're buying the product, there's shipments that are involved. So when that 25 discount percent gives you a huge healthy to go towards your cabinetry needs.
Mm-hmm.
And that's for active military and veterans?
Correct.
Perfect. So, Andrea, are you a veteran?
No, I'm the daughter of 2 Marines. Does that count?
No.
I was born at Lejeune, Camp Lejeune.
That means you need to be nice to me because
No,
I'm a veteran.
no. Let me tell you, I think
right.
the family members of those who served. Am I wrong, Urban?
You got it. You got it.
Okay.
Thank you,
that's
baby.
okay.
Thank you for agreeing for me.
If
Now,
you really want the discount, I'll adopt you. Okay.
Okay, thank you. Well, you've already adopted me. You just haven't signed the paperwork yet. I'm still working on that. Hey, Nicholas, how long have you been in design?
Me personally, 5 years. The company has been around for 8 years.
Okay. Now, how did that get started?
Daniel Skurkowski is the owner of the company. He has been he owns a car dealership, Motor City Autos in Escondido. He is friends with a lot of people in Italy that he just started, and that's how Marco and him got involved, and he brought it to San Diego.
So he's just a genius entrepreneur.
He is.
Yeah. What was the inspiration for you? I mean, 5 years, did you just wake up one day and go, gee, I like design. Let me get involved in this. How did that come to be?
I got in a car wreck, and I ended up working for another company for many years doing selling furniture and doing in design work, and that came to an end, which started beginning working with Daniel. I've been currently at Escondido IKDD for 7 months, but I've been doing design for 5 years.
Wow,
I also do it on the side on my own.
Yeah.
Great.
How do you handle it? And I've asked this of other people that are in your industry for various types of work. How do you handle it if, I think it was an architect I asked this last question to, if somebody comes to you and the design is just hideous? What they want to do is just so ugly in your mind, design-wise. How do you handle that? That's got to be tough because it's like you don't want your name on that, Nicholas, right?
Well,
because style is very subjective.
Style is. Generally, what we try to do is we work with the client. We generally try to show them 3 different options. They can come in with an idea, but, I mean, anyone can come in with a piece of wood and say, oh, design this, but then if you don't mold it and turn it to the way it's going to be useful and aesthetically helpful for you,
right?
We'll do what the client wants. Obviously, we're a retail business.
And then you put on a wig and some sunglasses so like nobody recognizes you.
No, but
as you're leaving the house.
Exactly. But what we try to do is
because I've been in some ugly kitchens, Nicholas.
No, I'm sure, and there's ways to where you can not push the client, but ultimately you have to give the client what they need. But we generally show them as many designs as possible to get them into the right,
and
what's going to be a fit.
And you try to give them a nudge.
Yes.
You know, it's kind of like Project Runway when they've got a design for somebody.
Exactly. We want to streamline that process correctly.
Yes, and Andrea, you have to understand, one man's trash is another man's treasure.
I know.
Okay?
I know. And I know some contractors that have felt that way before, that, okay, they try to give some options, you know, to try to redirect people. But if somebody says, hey, this is what I want,
well, the benefit
then
is,
maybe they just take the sign out from in front of the house so nobody knows who's building
the
it.
benefit that I have is I have a showroom with 9 kitchens in it with
that helps.
all the functionalities. So when we try to walk them through each kitchen to see what's going to work, what's going to be a fit, opening drawers, seeing the organization system, the peg system, see if it's really going to work for them. That way you can kind of streamline the process really fast, unlike a lot of some contractors don't even have a showroom. Well, that's
true.
what we let designers, architects, everyone use ours for that purpose.
Where's your showroom? Where is it?
507 Escondido Boulevard.
But it's appointment only.
Appointment only.
Okay, so you better give the appointment number to our listeners.
Yes.
Our phone number is 760-871-0707.
Great.
All right.
Great. And do you have a website people can look at?
I do. It's IKDD.us.
Okay, IKDD.us.
That's right.
Cool. Okay,
And now it's not only residential, it's commercial too. So
correct. Multifamily.
Great. Well, before we go, we talked about one other thing in the back room was the difference between the kind of warranty that you have versus what you might get. We won't mention any store names or what have you. It's some of the other big box retailers.
Correct. So like with our cabinetry, we have a 5-year warranty, and that's a full warranty. That's not like if you have a contractor that installs it that needs to add shims, there's a lot of process to an install, that alterations. As long as you use the installers there's obviously we train them, are certified. If you want to use your own, you're more than welcome to. But our warranty stays with our warranty. There's a lot of big box stores that when you buy, they'll give you that 20, 25-year warranty. And as soon as you install it and you have to alter it, there goes your warranty. So there's a lot of things to consider in the process of buying a kitchen.
And I'm sure that contract, you would need a magnifying glass to see that in the print, right?
Exactly. Not with ours. Ours says 5-year warranty.
I mean them where the warranty's voided like immediately on a shim and you don't even know.
Exactly.
Wow.
And that would be the difference.
Right.
Well, we're about out of time before we go to break, so thanks for being with us. And
thank you for having me.
I encourage our listeners to go to ikdd.us, correct?
Correct.
Great. Well, thanks for being here.
Thank you so much.
Okay, this is Close Up on San Diego Business here on KCBQ, streaming live at am1170theanswer.com. Send us a tweet at CloseUpSD or just find us on Facebook. You can always email me at barry@closeupsandiego.com. Let me know what you think. I'm your host, Barry Waxler. We'll be right back after a word from our sponsors.